Hello everybody, it's your favorite shill for Big Pharma Monsanto and the Illuminati, Jeff Holiday here. Pleasure to see you again. And we have quite a doozy on our plate. Quite a doozy. If you're new to the channel, you might not know this, but I really enjoy looking at bad pseudoscience. People who have just wing-nutty ideas, especially if they're dangerous, especially if they push potentially hazardous or even harmful ideas, especially when it comes to medicine. You could say it's my bread and butter. It's the thing that gives me life. Well, today, I have a treat for you. Now, as part of what I do, a lot of times people will submit different videos and topics and people to me, and I always appreciate it. I love it when people do this. Unfortunately, I'm extremely unorganized, so a lot of times I miss them. But somebody sent me this individual, and I watched this video, and we're going to start with this video, and I was blown away. It's pretty bad. But what was even more insane than just this one video was when I get a topic like this, I like to research who the person is, get a little bit of backstory on the person themselves, and the more I dug, the more horrified I was. This is a rabbit hole without end. It is absolutely insane what this person believes. And because there's just so much of it, I don't think we're going to be able to get to all of it today. In fact, it might take several videos to do so. So I'm just going to address this one video first, and we'll see where it goes from there. It might end up being a series. Maybe it'll just be something that we dive into from time to time to see how they're doing. But, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Teal Swan. And see, right off the bat, there's the intro, and it looks like it's something taken off of the infamous YouTube channel Spirit Science. And if you've never seen Spirit Science, it's a fucking nightmare. It's absolute trash. But I don't know if she just ripped it off, or if she has permission. I'd be interested in trying to find that out. Rather than say that I am vehemently against vaccines, I would say that I am vehemently for allowing the body to create well-being in the absence of vaccines. Okay.
Hi there. In light of the fact that I'm feeling particularly gregarious today, and in light of the fact that I think it's important to give you my honest opinion regardless of consequences, and relative to this subject I can tell you there are many.
Consequences relative to this subject? Consequences like what? Is that like when Kelly Bergen was saying, people have died for questioning Big Pharma? Is it like that?
I thought I'd talk to you today about vaccinations. Everyone has button subjects, those subjects which elicit the most amount of emotion and passion from them, and this is one of mine.
It could be understandable why you would. Without vaccines, innocent children die. Horribly. Suffering. Long, prolonged, awful deaths. Yeah, no, it would be a hot button issue for pretty much anyone.
In my opinion, the birth of the vaccination is not only one of the biggest scientific mistakes, it is also one of the biggest human embarrassments in history.
Let that sink in for a minute.
The biggest human embarrassments in history.
The problem we have in the United States is that our political system is not run on the basis of human liberty anymore. What you can do as a big company is to pay off people, they call it lobbying.
Government corruption, yeah, everybody knows that the government is irreparably corrupt. Every government is corrupt. It happens just because of how humans want to acquire power. Every human, any human that tries to take on the role of authority is susceptible to potentially being corrupted.
So it is in the big interest of these companies to get politicians to pass legislation that is in favor of their particular products, regardless of whether that's actually in line with human life or not.
I have on many times very vocally stated I'm not a big fan of the pharmaceutical industry. I don't necessarily trust them. I trust the science behind the drugs, absolutely. But do I think that they are corrupted? Most of the time, yeah. You can have some pretty clear examples of how the pharmaceutical companies can push things through that aren't necessarily the best for human beings. But that doesn't mean that drugs are bad. It just means, well, business is corruptible, and you have to be careful.
The other problem is that these big companies are the same companies which control our media.
Citation needed. Which companies are you talking about? Draw a line of correlation between, say, a pharmaceutical company and MSNBC. I mean, if you can show me it, by all means, I'll consider it, but you can't just state that. Like, show me the evidence.
So people who are in the general public do not have access to the kind of information that they actually need to make a rational decision relative to vaccines.
Well, of course they do. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? Go talk to your fucking doctor. Go talk to your doctor. Sure, a doctor might be a little manipulated into favoring one drug or the other because of pharmaceutical companies, but at the same time, vaccines are vaccines. Vaccines have a very specific function, a very understood and easily described biological mechanism by how they work. How do people not have access to this knowledge? What knowledge are you fucking talking about?
There is nothing on the face of the earth, perhaps, that is more profitable than making well people get medical care.
Well, that's kind of the thing. You know, you and the rest of the woo-woo scientists like to talk about things like preventative care and making sure that you're well so that you don't have to go to the doctor in the future for something more serious. Well, surprise, doctors do that too. It's called regular checkups. Gotta go and get a chest x-ray if you're a smoker. Make sure you don't got that lung cancer. Go and check your cervix just to make sure you're not developing cervical cancer. And just in general, any kind of checkup to make sure that your body is well functioning. And that way, if you can catch something early enough, the cost for the hospital and for you as a citizen is going to be lower. That's how it works. This
is a billion-dollar industry. And it is the money which is backing the propaganda which is going into vaccines today, not the actual science behind the vaccines.
Okay, so let me get this straight. What you just said was that it's a billion-dollar industry to manufacture and distribute vaccines to people, but that money is going into the propaganda, not into the research and the science of vaccines. So we can trust the research and the science on vaccines? We can trust that? Because if so, then great. Because I know the research, and it says that they're safe. Now, as far as the propaganda, I mean, do people, aside from like the HPV vaccine, is there any like, talk to your doctor about getting a mumps or a measles vaccination? No, because we don't have to sell it because it's a foregone conclusion. Get your kids fucking vaccinated so they don't get fucking sick and die. Have you ever heard a video of a baby suffering from fucking pertussis? If you could prevent that with simply a little shot when they're really young, why wouldn't you? What the fuck?
Most of the studies on vaccination are done by the very companies that stand to profit by the success of these vaccines.
Most, yes, but not all.
Your doctors are not educated in medical school on the harm of vaccines.
Who are they supposed to be educated by, Teal Swan? You? Are you going to educate the doctors about the dangers of vaccines? What the fuck?
The education they are given is completely biased in favor of vaccination.
That's not... Oh, Christ.
And in some cases, these doctors that you are visiting are paid off by the very companies that stand to benefit by the success of the vaccine sales, in the same way that some doctors accept payments from big pharmaceuticals to use their pills.
Prove it.
Many of the clinics you visit make their very living off of these vaccines. So they have no reason to tell you all of the harm that these vaccines could cause you.
Okay, if you go to something that's like a flu clinic, what's a clinic that focuses on giving people flu shots, yeah, they work because they give people flu shots. But the harm in getting vaccinated, like, okay. Let's see what she thinks harm from vaccines actually is, okay?
You need to educate yourself before you vaccinate your children or yourself. Don't buy the fear that they're selling you. They have managed to sell you fear to such a degree that this is one of the worst fights in human history.
And what kind of fear are you selling us?
The human population has become divided over this very subject.
No, it has not. No, it absolutely has not. You have everybody and then wingnuts, or people trying to make money off of people's fear of vaccines. That's really about it. That divide, it technically, I suppose that is a division, but it's not like a 50-50. This is not North versus South Civil War. No, this is people standing in the corner going, vaccines are bad, vaccines are bad, vaccines are bad. And everybody else looking at him like, Now, that wouldn't be that big of a deal, except they are very persuasive in some of their arguments, so they get normal, rational people who just happen to have an unhealthy amount of fear and trust to believe their bullshit. Like this lady.
If you don't believe me, go watch some of the debates. As a medical intuitive...
What the fuck is a medical intuitive?
I have only ever seen damage done by a vaccine. I have never seen it actually create something that is beneficial within the human system.
How in the fuck are you supposed to be perceiving that? Can you look inside their body and see, like, I don't know, whooping cough germs coming in and their body fighting it off because it was bolstered and had developed the antibodies because of the vaccine? Can you see that? What the fuck is a medical intuitive? What are you talking about? What the fuck?
It's a travesty what we are doing to our children especially. These vaccines do incredible harm, especially on children that are under the age of 2, which is the saddest thing of all, because we have this propaganda called immunized by 2.
Oh, you gotta love the fucking images she's using in this shit. These fucking shock and awe images. It's like something out of the PETA playbook. Like, look at this horrible, fucked up, photoshopped image of a baby being stabbed with fucking needles. What the fuck, dude? That's not... Oh my god, this is so fucking... This is blatant bullshit.
It is one of the worst things that we are doing, not only for our children, but for our species. Our human genome is being affected by our vaccines.
Vaccines cannot change your genes. Vaccines do not in any way damage your fucking DNA. You're not going to be carrying the vaccine genes through, like, what the fuck? Oh my god. And as far as it doing damage to a young child, now it's true. There are times where, because of different medical situations, people have bad reactions to vaccines, and young children do as well. And unfortunately, sometimes that can actually lead to irreparable harm and even death. But the truth of the matter is that's insanely fucking rare. Insanely rare. And on top of that, as our knowledge of how to do genomic testing increases, we can filter out which children can get vaccines and can't because of those conditions. So it's going to be an absolute irrelevance in the near future, because if we test them and it says, hey, they can't get a vaccine, we don't vaccinate them. And then they don't have to worry about it anyway, because every other kid that they're around is already vaccinated, so the disease can't even get to them. That's the whole point. That's what this is all about.
These vaccines are creating super bugs. Bugs that we will have no immunity to. Bugs that will take out whole demographics of our population, perhaps.
Fucking prove it. Fucking prove it. Are you misunderstanding what superbugs are? The concept of antibiotic resistant disease with somehow vaccines? Is that what you're doing? Because what you just said is not true. There's no proof of it. If you got proof, fucking show it to me. Fucking show it to me. You know what? Here, let's check something real quick. Let's check something. Okay, no. Lost a good info to look at. Okay. Well, it looks like the only citations you have on this video are more YouTube channels. Let's take a look at this. Let's see. The first one, video unavailable, isn't showing up. The second one is vaccine death cover-up implodes worldwide from the Alex Jones channel. And then the last one is the exploding autoimmune epidemic from Dr. Tent. Okay. Alright, so it's another anti-vaxxer spreading out a bunch of fear and propaganda about a bunch of shit that isn't fucking true. Wow. Shock among shock. Where's the scientific papers, Teal Swan? Where is any research papers? Even, why don't you just even show me an Andrew Wakefield paper, okay? At least then you have something from that is at least fake science and not just YouTube videos. Now trust me, I get it. I know, you're watching a YouTube video right now, and the irony is not lost on me. But for fuck's sake, I'm not the one trying to tell you that an established medical practice is going to be fucking killing your kids. I'm trying to tell you that you have to prove it. If you don't prove it, you're full of shit. I am getting heated.
I find it interesting that we are willing to grab onto the idea of a vaccine without really understanding what goes into the human immune system. We would like to blame these bugs for what it is that's causing deaths relative to these diseases, saying that the viruses are actually getting worse.
Which diseases are you talking about? What exactly are you trying to reference? Are you talking about anything that we vaccinate for, because I gotta tell you, kitten, not all of them are transmitted the same way or through the same different animals or bugs. Like that. I feel like I would get more intellectual weight if this is being described to me by a fucking 6-year-old.
It is no kind of substitute for allowing your immune system to do what it was meant to do and giving it the kind of fighting start that you could with a good diet and other factors. To inject a system with some kind of attenuated virus. This is not a substitute for what actually causes an increased immune system.
If you have a healthy immune system and you rest and you take care of yourself and you eat well and all that sort of thing, does that mean that you're not going to die if you get measles? No. No, you could still fucking die, especially if you're a very young child. It just simply means that you're more likely to be able to fight off infections and diseases in general. But the ones that we vaccinate for are so titanically fucking bad that we as a species benefit greatly from having the protection and not having to worry about it. And we can fucking prove it too. Absolutely prove it. Since your little culty fucking bullshit with anti-vax has started up and a lot of people have opted out of trying to protect their children, measles has had a comeback. And it's actually killed kids. Yeah, we could track this with statistical data, seeing the mortality rate of children from measles. We could see it. Now, of course, they could always just say, well, that's because they're unhealthy and we feed them processed food and all kinds of crap like this and that, and blah. Fuck you. Fuck off. How dare you trivialize the death of a child just to try and push your fucking argument? It's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit, and it's heartless. It's heartless, gut-wrenching, disgusting fucking propaganda. Okay, at this point, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna end the video here, because I have a feeling that this is just gonna go completely fucking bazonkers, and we're not even through with the first video of hers that I even tried to look at. So, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna put this thing together, and then we'll try and finish it and record a part 2. So, I'll see you guys then. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. We'll see each other again soon. Bye-bye.